These two questions are going to be really important for you to at least start the process of not being in a state of fearing failure. Welcome to Mother-Daughter Connections, the show dedicated to educating, encouraging, and equipping moms to build lasting, meaningful connections with their daughters. I'm your host and mother-daughter relationship personal trainer, Dr. Michelle Deering. My heart is to be of help to you. I believe that your relationship with your mom is the foundation for your future success, personally, parentally, and professionally. Now remember, even though I'm a licensed psychologist, I'm not your shrink on this show. I am, however, here to share my opinions and those of my guests. If you have concerns about your mental health, please seek services from a mental health provider in your local area. Now join me as we pause to consider today's topic. Hi, Dr. Michelle Deering here. You ever have one of those moments in your mother-daughter relationship where you're thinking, not quite sure what to do here, or you're feeling nervous or upset about the kinds of patterns that you're having in your interactions with your daughter, or maybe you're not feeling confident about your mothering, or you just simply need some answers? You think to yourself, I'll just call my mom or my sister. And maybe you have, and it's helped, and sometimes maybe it's not, or maybe they're just not reachable when you need them. I know what that's like in those situations, and that's why I do what I do as a mother-daughter relationship personal trainer. I draw upon my 25 plus years of professional training and personal experience helping thousands of moms worldwide and giving them definitive, research-grounded, psych-infused, tailored solutions that leave them feeling confident, informed, and equipped to address their mother-daughter relationship situations. Now, if you need help or you're just looking for answers, then schedule a quick micro solutions call with me at bit.ly/micro solutions call. That's bit.ly/micro solutions call. It's those micro solutions that add up to big changes in your relationship. I look forward to speaking with you soon. Well, hi there and welcome. I am so excited that you've taken the time to spend time here with me today. And in our time together today, I just want to take a brief moment to talk about something that isn't normally talked about, and that is the topic of failure. Just even hearing the word can be aversive to some folks because it's something that when we hear the word failure, we think, oh, I am a failure. Well, today, I want to just share some thoughts with regards to that and hopefully give you something to think about and pause to consider a little bit differently. Failure is not an option, or is it, is what I'm wondering. You see, people don't like to talk about failure because they're afraid of talking about failure. In essence, they fear failure. And the fear of failure is really a real thing for many people, especially amongst young girls, young daughters, young queens in training, and in particular in the realm of academics. If you look back in history, women have gone through a lot, and I'll just stay here within the country of the United States. You know, I know we're heard in many different other countries, but here in the United States, women have gone through a lot in trying to find their voice, express their voice, get equality. And that's something that has been sought after and has had progress made on. And right now, the way to do it here in the United States is to go on and get an education. And the way the statistics are now, there are more women pursuing and or graduating from graduate schools than men are. So women, we are like making strides in terms of our academic achievement. But if we can kind of look back a little bit at our young queens in training, hopefully both of you are listening today, whether you're a tween or a teen daughter or a mom who has a tween or teen daughter or even a young adult daughter. If you're listening, this fear of failure, especially in the realm of academics, is palpable. For some people, the fear of failure can actually propel them to achieve great things, but it does come at a cost, whether it's mental, emotional, or even interpersonal. And for others, the fear of failure can push them actually to the depths of depression and despair, where there's a cost, again, whether it's mental, emotional, or interpersonal. The common factor here is that this fear of failure has a cost. The statistics bear this out where, as of 2023, I believe at least 38% of young teen girls are experiencing anxiety. That is something to bear in mind, that our young queens in training are experiencing this, especially in the post-pandemic era. And then when it comes to moms and adult women, how can you equip yourself and become equipped when at least 1 in 4 women is experiencing and struggling with issues of anxiety? Now, before I go any further, there's something that I really want you to understand about the fear of failure. The first thing is that fear is a feeling, not a fact. And failure is a state, not a trait. Now, we all know what facts are. Facts are like indisputable. It just is what it is, right? And a trait, at least when we talk about traits in a psychological context, a trait is something that is just ingrained as a part of you, part of your makeup and personality. So facts and traits are unchangeable and ingrained. I'm honing in on this because when it comes to feelings and states, meaning states of being or circumstances or situations, feelings and states can change or can be changed by something internal or external. So I want to just summarize this point that fear is a feeling, not a fact, and failure is a state, not a trait. The feelings and states can change, and I want you to know that that is possible. Now, when it comes to you having or experiencing a fear of failure, one of the things to kind of just start the process of addressing that is to ask yourself 2 key questions. So let's start with this. Fear feelings occur when you perceive there to be some kind of threat or harm or danger in the future. So the first question you need to ask yourself is, what harm or danger do you think will happen to you? And then the second question to ask yourself is predicated on failure is a state of an inability to perform a normal function. So if you're fearing being in this state of failure, what is it that you're thinking you're not able to do or not going to be able to do? These 2 questions are going to be really important for you to at least start asking yourself, because how you answer them is going to tell you where you can start the process of not being in a state of fearing failure. Now, if you're a young queen in training and listening here right now, or if you're with your mom and you're both listening to this, I just want you to know, daughter, that you are more than a grade or a number. You have talents and abilities that tests can't measure. You are important. So important that it's going to be important for you and your mom to help you create a space for you to discover more of what those talents and abilities are, so that you can be grounded in the essence of you, which is something that is priceless and immeasurable, and that you need to really grab a hold of and take hold of. And if you're a mom listening, either by yourself or with your daughter, it'll be really important for you to learn how to create the kind of space that your daughter needs in order for her to share her answers to those 2 questions, and to provide you with the space that you need to be able to hear what your daughter is really saying she needs from you to help her, whether it's gather resources to be able to perform whatever it is that she needs to perform in the classroom, outside of the classroom, or if it's resources that she needs in order to have a space to hash out all the stuff that she's thinking and feeling. And moms, just know that if you enlist the help of a licensed mental health professional in your local area, or if you partake of any of the services that I offer in terms of learning how to create that space for your daughter, just know that your partnering with another person is not an indication of you failing as a mom. It's actually an indication of you being a leader in knowing where to get resources, in knowing where and when to ask for help. Because great leaders, like yourself, know what they know and what they don't know. And then they shore up on the things that they don't know by getting assistance. Now, this is the kind of help I provide for moms in my one-on-one personal training programs or in the consulting work that I do with mom organizations or women's groups. So if you or your group would like to learn more about what it is that I have to offer in terms of those services, just email me at dr.deering@curativeconnections.com. That's dr.deering at curative, curativeconnections.com, and put the subject line fear of failure, and I'd be happy to share more with you about those services. So when it comes to starting the process of dealing with the fear of failure, and in particular in the realm of academics, just keep in mind that fear is a feeling, not a fact, and that failure is a state, not a trait. So things have the possibility to change, and you can start that change today by answering those two questions. What harm or danger do you think will happen to you if you don't get that grade, if you don't pass that test? And what do you think you're not able to or not going to be able to do? Because that will help you know what resources to go get to get the help that you need. I am so glad that you spent time here with me today. Be encouraged. I see you. I am in your corner. And remember, healthy mother-daughter relationships are possible. They just take one curative connection at a time. I'll see you next week. You've been listening to Mother-Daughter Connections with me, your host and mother-daughter relationship personal trainer, Dr. Michelle Deering. Thanks so much for joining me today. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss an episode. Share this episode with a friend so they don't miss an episode. And download the resource in the show notes. Until next time, remember to pause to consider how you can connect intentionally so you can improve relationally with your daughter.